Hey everybody, Asher here, back with some more Kerbal Space Program, and we're going to dive right in to our next mission, where actually we're going to go ahead and let this orbit once. I want to see, we're going to be landing a different lander to Duna today, and I want to see if we can actually get something a little bit different from a different landing site. I'm hoping it works out pretty well. It's not going to be Valentina, Kerman, or any of our orange suits. We get to watch some of our gray-suited Kerbals come into the action. So we'll see how that goes, as we're flying something that is going to be decidedly more difficult to land than a dedicated lander with no probesies. So we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping it does good. I'm not entirely sure whether I'm bringing way too much fuel or way too little fuel. But let's go ahead and meet our brave crew of the Duna lander-ish. Alright, and the recording is a go. We have Alstead and Varela Kerman. They are going to be our crew today on a ship that I'm already seeing some good design flaws here, and you may be able to see them too. This is a landing craft, and if I'm just going to fire the RCS thrusters for you here. You see where those RCS thrusters are? I meticulously tried to put them on the center of mass, and the problem with trying to put those on the center of mass is that they means that this ship is going to be going the wrong way going forward. So it's your EVA report. And all I'm doing here is just try to go ahead and load up some data ahead of time so that we can have some on the landing station here. The goal for this ship is actually to make a pretty good landing on Duna. And I think we are almost far enough away. If I time accelerate a little bit, we will be far enough away. All we're going to do is burn retrograde with this ship today. And then we will go ahead and go down to the surface of Duna, and then we'll see what happens next. Like I said, all I want to do is just get a landing of this ship. And if we can do that, then we can be in business, start transmitting science home, get a contract complete, which would be really nice. Because this is one of the big payout money things. You can see my money indicator's broken for some reason right now, but we have some money, just not big money right now. So let's go ahead and see. Well, okay. What am I going to forget every single landing here is I got to reactivate these engines. It's like, let's fire the engines that need to be turned on. Engine online, engine online. Now, we're going to watch our fuel today because I do have a bit of RCS fuel. What I don't have is I don't have full canisters of fuel. In fact, I brought about 600, 500, 600 Delta V worth of fuel here. That may be over budgeting it by quite a bit. We'll find out. So let's go ahead and just see if we can get into a decent enough orbit here. We're just going to drop this down a lot. I think probably like 1200, 1100. That's good enough. All right, so let's just go ahead. We did the big spiel on landing last time. It looks like we're actually going to have a little bit of an Ike eclipse here. Ike orbiting much closer to Duna than the moon orbits Kerbin, plus Ike being larger means more impressive eclipses, plus the sun actually being smaller, because we're not nearly as close. So Ike eclipse, good omen, bad omen, probably a bad omen, to be perfectly honest, but there we go. The sun is now obscured. Duna rests there below as we are flying in a little, time accelerating a little too fast. As we have the clouds kind of popping back in. That's fun times to be had, I guess. But actually, right now we may be landing pretty close to one of the largest mountains on Duna, which is interesting in that there's a little bit of a parallel there to, I almost said Jewel, to Mars. I'm forgetting the name of my real-life planets. Anyway, because there's some massive, massive mountains on Mars, and people don't entirely know why. There. So let's get a second crew report. Let's go ahead and process it in the lab as well. I'm not going to worry about an EVA report here. We're going to get enough data, presumably. Let's go ahead and transmit this one, actually. We're going to get enough data, presumably, from holding it in here. We're not starting the research yet because you all don't get to start research until you're down on the surface. And like I said, I'm pointing this forward, even though the landing legs are backwards, because we're going to have to hope that the atmosphere doesn't kill us too badly. I got to deploy my chutes to kick this to go around the other way, but if I deploy them too soon they'll either catch on fire or they will be torn asunder by the jerking force of things going around. So it looks like we are very likely going to have a pretty good afternoon landing here again. We can probably afford to time accelerate, physical time acceleration, just a little bit. We're going to be on fire, but once again, the fires are not nearly as impressive for some reason with these smaller ships. I don't know what that's all about, but Varela and Alstead Kerman, very happy, looking like they're having a good time. I mean, it's not every day you get to land on a different planet, especially when it's like you draw straws. We get to be here a long time. Sure, the mission itinerary doesn't have a means to say, okay, this is when you're going to be rescued. But, I mean, they'll be around for a long time. I think they like each other enough. I don't know if they'll have little Kerbals. I don't even know if that's how Kerbals procreate. That's something that doesn't seem to be explained in the game that maybe could be eventually. But here we go. We're now on fire under pretty significant time acceleration, so I'm going to go it back down, push it back down to 1, and hope for the best here. Like I said, we're going to have to go burn through the atmosphere until our apoapsis goes down appropriately, then deploy our parachutes when we think the fire is off. And excuse me, I don't know for sure when the fire is going to be off. Alright, so a little bit, I don't know why I'm just sitting here quietly, so staring like the rest of you, like, okay, here is Duna, periapsis going down. We're still on fire. I don't want to necessarily put the parachutes up yet. Just like, I don't want to say landing's routine because it's hardly routine, but like I said, I hope I have enough fuel. I either have way too much fuel or way too little fuel, considering how much I had to decelerate the other ship, but on the other hand here, what may have been a better design is if I had these rockets pointing the other way and had the landing legs kicking out that way. Because right now this is not nearly as stable. Although I could always ditch these at the last second to try and make sure this stays up. It's a possibility we may need to consider, but right now 11,000 still on fire. If I deploy the parachutes, they're gone forever. And it looks like we may actually be landing in a valley over here, so that could be good. Nothing is going to come up and punch us in the face from Duna, which is nice. There are some geological features that will. That's one of them over there. I remember one time I was coming in for a Duna landing, and I actually had to pull up really hard and fire my engines up really hard just because I was going way too fast. But oh, look down there. Dust storms. Those are actual dust storms down below. Love this cloud mod. So we are... Let's go ahead and look in the IVA here. We have Alstead Kerman, who is going through some clouds. He could be here for quite some time, but he packed his snacks. See, they have enough snacks to last him for quite a while, and they have some flammable materials as well. Going through another cloud here, under 9,000. I want to wait till about 8,000, I think, to deploy the parachutes, because we may still be a little bit on fire. The atmosphere may be just enough, but about 800 surface speed, still pretty good. I hope those dust storms don't actually... I'm pretty sure they're just graphical, and they're not going to knock my ship over. But still, like I said, it's pretty neat to see such advancements that have been made in Kerbal Space Program since I started playing, from both the modding community and otherwise. We're about T-minus 57 seconds till landing. We are below the cloud cover, so it's probably safe to deploy the chutes. There we go. Deploy secondary chutes. That's a lot of parachutes. Now all we gotta do is just try and stabilize. Stabilization is good. We can go ahead and lower our landing legs as well. That's very important. Those are facing the right way. Like I said, I've had missions before where I didn't realize the landing legs were pointing the wrong way, and then I've killed Kerbals because of that. So let's see here. Alstead suddenly not confident. Varela suddenly not very confident. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Alright, so 5,000 meters up. If you love motion sickness, you'll love the view out of the cupola right now. Radar altitude's still okay. Things are a little more stable. Alstead, you're the pilot. You should be knowing what's going on with the flight plan here. So let's go ahead and just start our slowdown burn. We don't really need our SAS on right now. So how are we doing? 1,000 meters up, we gotta be more aggressive with this. Alright. So 90, 80, 70. You know, I've got a lot of fuel. I can just go ahead and zero out here and take my dear precious time dropping down. So I thought I'd have some more ground scatter here, but apparently not only are we lacking ground scatter, but we're lacking decent shadows to help us gauge where we're falling. But at least we're pointing mostly straight down now, so that's good. So that's here about X meters up, about 500 meters up. Once again, notice all these parachutes, how much good they're not doing right now. Alright, so keeping the SAS on, 300 or so meters up. And at least we're in relative flatlands, if nothing else. So we can just take this nice and easy. I hope nice and easy. We're coming in pretty good though. Let's try and correct this once. Less than 100 meters. We just don't want to be tilted that much to the sideways when we land, so let's go ahead and go a little bit softer now. Once again, no landing shadows is pretty annoying, but there we go. We landed and stable, stable, stable. Oh, the dust storms are blowing in. The dust storms are blowing in, and we are going to the side. Okay. One roll, never hurt anybody, right? So those dust storms are... almost a trick shot. Alright, well... Good news, I guess, is that we do actually have a landing post, and are we going to be able to stay stable? Those are such cool dust storms. Except they're coming in from below the ground, too. So if we stay stable, we can keep our contract going. So let's go ahead and turn off the SAS here. Now, okay, contract... Nailed it! New surface station on Duna. Now here's the catch, is that I've got to decouple these while at the same time not destroying my station. So we're going to do these manually. Let's decouple you. Roll out. And the reason is that you can't just open one of these service bay doors. You'll get both the service bay doors opening. And what I want to do is roll this in a way to where we can have these out. This is going to be the tough one. Alright. Oh, why is that hopping still? Alright. Then last one over here. Decouple. Alright, so now that we're all resting gently together, like I said, I think what I need to do is kind of like what I did before with the moon landing, is that you can just clean up the space garbage. We have one explosion here, because that's just rolling down the hill. Best space station ever, right? Is our door currently blocked? Our doors are currently blocked, so we got to actually step out of here for a second. Look at her. She's still like, oh my god, I'm going to be spending the rest of my, not life, the rest of my time on Duna on a sideways space station. They'll adjust. Let's go back to the Space Center real quick. So in gravity and atmosphere come into play, building a station on Duna, not too great, and we don't actually have other contracts for that just yet, but it was complete, so that's good. So all we're going to do here is just to destroy the debris. Debris, 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 debris. They are not good for science. They're just there. By the way, that's a lot of fuel that I could have had on the station back here. And I actually got to change that to a base, so let's fly it. Yeah, I hope that doesn't come back to haunt me, because I needed a lot more fuel for here than over there, but let's just go ahead and see if we can. So yes, we'll rotate. Let's put up the landing gears real quick. Or actually, you know what? We might be okay. Let's see if we can... I'm gonna try something real quick. See if we can open these doors, or if that's gonna make our ship totally explode. Nope. Still together. Can we do all the science we need to? Maybe. That may just work out very well. Let's find out here. So, Varilla, who's now very happy. It's like we made it. We're in a dust storm. That is such a cool picture, too. So, Ike and the dust storm and the sun. That's why these mods are good. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Another one of these. We have one broken landing leg at least, but let's go ahead and plant the flag. Okay. Landing station. You can check out anytime you like. That's true. So EV airport from the surface. Gonna keep this data, take a surface sample from the lowlands. Good, so we do have a different actual biome here. And then since she's our scientist, she can go ahead and see if we can squeeze into here. I think we just barely can. There we go. Gravity, log seismic data. Let's keep it from the lowlands. We can't actually take the data, so if we just... Well, I can take the data. I just gotta RCS here a little bit closer, run atmospheric analysis, keep the data, download the data, barometric pressure, keep the data. Alright, so what do we do here? I guess we do observe the materials bay. And we'll keep this as well. This is all just going to be fantastic data that we may be able to do something with. If I can just ever select it. There we go. What if we look at it from up here? Because clipping is fun. Okay, well, there's the lander can at least. This is fun. This is fun. Let's play Kerbal, figure out how to make this work. Kerbal BS. Okay. That service bay door is just going to be a nightmare, so we can take that data. Okay, one more try. Nope. Sorry for the shaky cam, guys. There we go. We'll just get that from the top. So, like I said, Kerbals are nothing if not resourceful, right? So all I gotta do is land here on top. Whoops! That's not what you're supposed to do. Okay, so we're already knocking off little redundant solar panels, so that's okay, right? We don't got to worry about any of these parachutes anymore. So I guess that's a thing. Oh, good. We can actually, wow, we can actually climb onto those rails. Good to know. Now, if we land on the Science Junior, hopefully we don't destroy it. There we go. Collect the data. Let's just restore it just for fun. I don't know what deploying the goo bay means, but we will. Okay, didn't mean to move that window. And keep the data. Collect the data. Remove the data. I think I already got the gravity scan, so let's go ahead and keep the data. Take the data. And now we can finally go back into the whee! Well, she's got to, okay, she's really excited. She's got to actually go into the science bay. So she's going to be working there a long, long time. Grab it and board it. Alright, so let's go ahead. We are going to be at least able, I hope. Uh-oh, broken. Alright, well. I guess what we're going to do here then in that case, since we can't actually generate power right now to run science, let's go ahead and close this. Let's go ahead and raise the legs as best we can. Let's go for a bit of a roll, maybe. Just want to roll the station once, twice, for science. We're going to re-extend the legs. Perfect. Extend the panels. We're back to making science, guys. So she was just so excited she broke one whole set of panels. But now we're generating electricity, not the fastest ever, especially in a dust storm. Stored data. Nothing much here. Let's review the data here. All we're going to do is process, 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 process. We can probably transmit. And then we're going to, I think we're actually, let's go ahead and keep this data because we don't want to totally cap out this just yet. So process and keep the data, keep the data, and then transmit as well. So we're low on electricity right now. Let's go ahead and time accelerate. That can fix a lot of things, because we're going to be starting the research and that is going to take quite a bit of work. So let's see here. Time acceleration, uploading data. There's our beautiful dust storms coming. And there we go. I think we're good. There's Ike, there's everything else. And we have 455 data out of 500. That's quite a bit of science eventually. And we have more science in the backup here. So congratulations, guys. You all are now doing research. And we actually have no engines on here, so I can actually safely take this screen cap. Cool. Alright, let's actually go and see what else we can do. Maybe to try and get these guys home, maybe try and get to Ike, because it's going to be a little bit before we can actually get back to Ike. So let's go and see what else we can do to try and salvage this mission. Alright, so we are back to Bob and Valentina Kerman, whose ship is not knocked over right now. And right now, this is not really a contract that I have for much of anything, but what I want to be doing with these guys is actually getting them back into orbit so I can reattach this ship to the Duna Behemoth, because they have a ton of science on their ship, and I really want to bring it back here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just bring it back to daylight side so we can have, so that you all can see the launch a little better. We have our Duna landing station that's on its side, but you know what? It's okay. You can be on your side just fine. We may actually be launching in a dust storm. There is the Duna Behemoth going around and around, because Ike actually, Ike doesn't orbit slow, but this does orbit pretty slowly. So let's see here. We do still have some fuel. I think it is enough for us to get up into space here, but we have more dust storms coming, so that is going to be great. A lot of fine particulate matter going into the ship is what we always want. So we're going to go ahead and retract the solar panels. And let's go ahead and do our final flight checks to make sure things are okay. I don't need to worry about redeploying the parachutes right now, because these parachutes are going to be gone and this is going to be attaching to another part of the ship. The goal here is actually to have this attached to the space station and go back to Kerbin that way. So all we got to do is to fly out about a 90-degree angle, same as before. We're going to do some orbital adjustments. We're going to see if this works. I feel like I have enough fuel, because we've only been burning out of here so far, and all we got to do is to get to a 50,000 plus meter orbit. How hard can that possibly be? Either that or Bob and Valentina are going to be in a lot of trouble. So ready? Here goes nothing, and let's fly. Landing legs up. Slight gravity turn right here. Let's get our view appropriate. There's not too much atmosphere, so we can actually do a little bit more of a turn. Landing legs back up any day now. There we go. So are we actually going on a ballistic trajectory right now? Yes, we are. Alright, so 50,000. Okay, don't know why that happened. That definitely was not supposed to happen there. I guess we caught on fire a little bit. Alright. Well, let's fix it. Alright. Alright, so 40,000. That was a little odd. Not a great way to start this, right? So 50,000, 60,000. Let's actually stay on the level now. All right. Our ladders are still deployed too, so that's amateur hour stuff right there. Okay, now apoapsis is good. Let's go ahead and just see what it takes to get into orbit. So that's a little scary. Alright, biggest thing is just a stable orbit. That should be pretty stable. 1 minute burn. We should have more than enough fuel to make that happen. Once again, I'm a little concerned about why my ship just decided to flip out like that. I guess I was accelerating too much and actually caught fire in the atmosphere a little bit. Or something strange happened, but let's see. So we're going this way. We're going to be burning for about a minute. As long as we're going up above the atmosphere, that's good. We're now out of the atmosphere. We can probably burn in relative safety now. We're just going to give ourselves a good stable orbit. So we have a few parachutes that still don't work. We can repack them in space. If this really needed to land on a Kerbal, it probably could. I'd be more inclined to land it on the moon or something, though. Once again, I was wondering if I would have enough fuel to actually make it to Ike with this ship. I might actually be able to make it to Ike. We'll see how the rest of the fuel situation on the Behemoth is, though. So let's see. Up in space. Probably good enough time as any to start a burn. We don't have to have a perfect circle. There we go. Do we have the fuel necessary to make this happen with one Poodle engine? Poodle, the modern LV909, that's for sure. Alright. So there's our dirt base on the other side. We are actually on different orbital planes right now than the space station, so we need to fix that just a little bit. Alright. I mean, some of these things are orbital maneuvers that we can do as well. Right, but right now, as long as we can stay kind of on the 90-degree heading, I think we're okay. I do not think I'm going to have enough fuel for Ike with this, though. If I can drag some fuel over from other parts, possibly, but still, we've gotten... I'd call a possible Ike double landing more of a bonus mission than anything, so let's see here. We're in stable orbit. Should be orbiting. There we go. Now the next fun part is, how do we actually do an orbital intercept with the Behemoth up there? We're going to have to match orbits in some way, shape, or form. We're going to have to try and meet that way. But I think that's something that's probably going to be for the next episode here, because I can meet with the Duna Behemoth, and by the time that happens, it'll probably be time to make a burn towards Ike. So that's it for now. This is Asher. You can see we're actually coplanar. These will not intersect right now from just the way I left it off, but that is something that can be fixed. Well, okay, they do intersect just a little bit, but that's enough. That's all you need. That's all, though. This is Asher. Thanks for watching. We do have successful science, successful missions for the most part. We've landed on Duna. We're going to land on Ike and knock out a crap ton of contracts for Ike. We have Orbit Ike, Explore Ike. Hopefully that'll get a reputation up to where people want us to do things other than Duna, because right now nobody's really interested in our space program. Maybe that'll change. I thought maybe landing on another planet would get them interested. Who knows? Thanks for watching. Take care.